Cubs fan Han here to do another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video, and I do want to give a quick shout out to my friends over at gaming-fans.com. You can also follow them at gamingfansdfn on Twitter for great Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes articles, content reviews, etc. So today we are going to be ranking our top 5 Zeta abilities. And the way that I am going to be doing this, I actually have a Discord server that I created that has several of your favorite Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes YouTubers on it. Some that I know you'll recognize are 2, Smithy D, Warrior, Mist, and several others. We have, I think, about 40 of us YouTubers on there who talk about the game and talk about content, etc. And I actually put out a poll for all of those content creators to rank what, in their opinion, are the best Zeta abilities in the game. So if you are a new player or an experienced player and you're wondering who to Zeta next, I recommend that you consult this list of top 5 Zeta abilities to consider who you should be giving those Zetas to. And in looking at each of these abilities, I'm also going to grade each of them on a 5-point scale over 4 different areas of performance in the game. Number 1 is arena viability. How useful is this ability in the arena? Number 2 is their raid viability. Where can you use them in the raids, and is it going to put out tons of damage? Number 3 is going to be their future in the game. Are these abilities likely to be viable for a long time? And then lastly, their versatility. Does this ability work in many different areas of the game, or is it limited to pretty much one team of usefulness? So, without any further ado, let's break down the top 5 Zeta abilities in the game as voted on by your favorite YouTube content creators. Number 5. That's right. Our favorite Stormtrooper gone rogue is coming in at number 5. Now his Zeta ability is called Balanced Tactics. This is a leader ability. And just to read over this, Resistance allies gain 30% offense and 60% defense. And other allies gain half that amount. Whenever a Resistance ally loses Foresight, they gain advantage for 2 turns. And whenever an enemy takes damage from Expose, reduce the cooldowns of all Resistance allies by 1 and grant them 30% turn meter. So this is obviously a very powerful ability, and there's just a ton of functionality in the game. I think it's a great Zeta ability. For the arena, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. This is definitely a viable ability to take into the arena with you. However, the reason why I'm not giving it a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5 is because it is not the meta. It's kind of one of those abilities where it works, but you're going to have really good mods on your team to make Resistance work in the arena. So I don't think it's the best option for the arena, but it is a viable option in the arena. For raid viability, I'm giving Finn a 5 out of 5. This ability is awesome to use in Heroic Tank especially. Future in the game, I am also giving a 5 out of 5. And the reason for this is because we've got another movie coming out that is bound to have more Resistance characters. Right now, one of the weaknesses of Finn's ability that I'll get to is the versatility, because you're limited to just a few Resistance characters. That could really change when this next movie comes out, because we're going to get more Resistance in the game. And then obviously segue into versatility, which for now I am giving a 2.5 out of 5. You really need to have Resistance characters with Finn to make this ability work. And right now you only have 6 total Resistance characters in the game. So because of that, I'm going to give him a pretty low grade on versatility. But when you are running him with Resistance, this ability is awesome, and the best area of the game to use it in is Heroic Tank. Number 4. Anakin, drop! Our favorite Metachlorian expert is coming in at number 4, and Qui-Gon Jinn's leader ability is just an awesome ability to give a Zeta to. He was actually my first Zeta, and it works super well with Jedi. So agility training, Jedi allies have plus 30 speed. That is the same amount of speed you get on a 5-dot speed arrow. So you can give all your Jedi 2 5-dot speed arrows if you want by using Qui-Gon Jinn. You gain offense equal to 3 times their speed. So you're going to hit harder with every ounce of speed you got on there. And then you gain foresight for 2 turns at the start of each encounter and whenever an enemy unit is defeated. So obviously when you're running this with Jedi, it's just an awesome ability to use. I think it's very viable in many aspects of the game. So in the arena, I'm going to give this ability for Qui-Gon Jinn a 4.5 out of 5. This is a great ability to use in the arena. It's absolutely viable in the top 10 of every arena shard. You just need to make sure you have the right team around it, and I highly recommend if you're running a ZETA Qui-Gon Jinn that you dump a ZETA R2-D2 in there with the ZETA on Number Crunch. So for raid viability, I'm actually not super high on Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm going to give him a 2.5 or maybe a 3 out of 5 for raid viability. And the reason for that is his ZETA ability doesn't really have a use in the Rancor raid, and it's pretty much going to be limited to phase 1 of the heroic tank, and there just isn't that high of a damage cap for that. You're going to be able to get good damage, but it's just not going to be the person you're putting in there to do millions of damage. Looking at the future of the game, I'm going to score this a 4 out of 5. I mean, if you look at Star Wars is about Jedi. Jedi are here to stay. Jedi are going to be a big part of this game for a very long time. Versatility, though, I'm going to knock it down to a 3.5 out of 5. You do need to have Jedi to make this ability work. Now, some might think that that's a bit too high. The reason why I'm giving it a 3.5 and not as opposed to a 3 or a 2.5 is because there are tons of Jedi in this game. Even though you have to use Jedi, there is a certain degree of versatility with this ability just for the simple fact that there are so many different Jedi options in the game. Number 3. Darth Vader comes in at number 3, and his ZETA ability, Inspiring Through Fear, gives Empire and Sith allies 30% offense, and they have a 50% chance to remove 20% turn meter whenever they attack an enemy. This turn meter removal can't be resisted, and while Darth Vader is alive, enemies immediately regain damage over time for 2 turns whenever damage over time expires on them. This is an awesome ZETA ability, and is absolutely something I recommend for everybody. Arena viability, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. It used to be more viable, but now there's just more viable options. With the addition of Thrawn, however, he seems to be making a comeback in the arena, so definitely not something to scoff at. Raid viability, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 5. Vader can solo the whole Rancor raid, and he can do very good damage in phase 2 of heroic tank and in other areas of heroic tank. Future of the game, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 5. This is one of the most iconic Star Wars characters. There's no reason why this ability is going to go anywhere. And then versatility, I'm going to give him a 4.5 out of 5. You do need to run this with Empire or Sith, but there are other options for you in the game that seem to be viable. A lot of people are using General Kenobi with a Vader lead, and that seems to be working for them. Number 2.
Don't move.
That's right, everybody's favorite droid comes in at number 2, and the ZETA ability voted on here is Number Crunch. At the start of every battle, R2-D2 gains 10% max protection for each droid ally, 10% offense for each Galactic Republic ally, 10% max health for each Rebel ally, and 10% potency for each Resistance ally. At the start of the battle, and whenever R2-D2 revives, other droid, Galactic Republic, Rebel, and Resistance allies gain 10% of R2-D2's max protection, offense, max health, and potency until R2-D2 is defeated. Now this is a bit much to read, but it is awesome in practice. This ability has so many uses in the game. I am giving him arena viability 5 out of 5. R2-D2 buffs so many teams in the arena. I use him with my Jedi. I'm currently using him with Thrawn, General Kenobi, and Rex. He is just so viable in the arena. You should absolutely put him in your arena teams. Raid viability, I'm also giving him a 5 out of 5. R2-D2 works super well with Resistance in phase 2 of the heroic tank, and I've even seen him function very well in the Rancor raid. Future of the game, 5 out of 5. R2-D2, like Darth Vader, is one of the most iconic characters in the game. There's no way that he is going to be going anywhere, and he works in so many different areas. Versatility, I am giving a 5 out of 5 as well. 5 out of 5 across the board. And the reason why R2-D2 is so versatile is because he's got 4 different factions he provides buffs for. He's going to buff your droids, your Galactic Republic, your Rebel and Resistance allies. And that is so many different areas of the game that he is useful. I think that Resistance tag in particular is going to make him very versatile for a long time, because Resistance is a faction that's going to have a great future in the game. So R2-D2 coming in at number 2. Now before I get to our number 1 pick for Zeta abilities, I do want to do a few honorable mentions. Number 1, Darth Maul. We didn't see Darth Maul in our top 5. He might deserve to be there though, because his Zeta ability is extremely viable in the arena still. Commander Cody has a Zeta ability that is very solid in raids. And the last Zeta ability that we are giving an honorable mention to is Grand Admiral Thrawn's unique Zeta ability. Now, something I want to make a quick point of is that Fracture is not a Zeta ability, but it is one of the most powerful abilities in the game. So I'm personally curious where Fracture would show up on this list if it was a Zeta ability. And the number 1 Zeta is... Coming in at number 1 in our top spot is Kylo Ren's Outrage. Outrage deals physical damage to target enemy, and if Kylo Ren has full health, inflicts stun for 1 turn. This attack deals 75% more damage if Kylo is below full health, and recover protection equal to the damage dealt. It's just such an awesome ability. There's no getting around it. This is one of the best abilities in the game. It's super fun to use. Now for arena viability, I'm actually going to score this a 4.5 out of 5. The reason why not 5 out of 5 is because the ability doesn't work as intended on defense. He's actually pretty bad on defense, but on offense he works really good. You should be able to climb to the top of your arena shards if you put him in the right team. For raid viability, I'm actually only going to give Kylo Ren a 3.5 out of 5 due to the nerf that just happened. He's not as useful in Phase 1. He's still going to work very well. He's still great to use in raids. He's just not quite as dynamic as he used to be. Future of the game, Kylo gets a 5 out of 5. First Order is like Resistance. We are going to have the new movie. We're bound to have a lot more First Order in this game. And Kylo Ren seems to be really at the center of the focus of the new reboot of Star Wars. So I am very confident that he will be viable in this game a long time to come. Versatility, Kylo Ren, like R2-D2, gets a 5 out of 5 as well. He is one of the best standalone characters in the game. Outrage works no matter where you put it. You don't need to have First Order for it to work. You don't need to have Dark Side for it to work. You can put him anywhere in the game and it works very well. So, what do you think about our list? Do you disagree with our list? Do you agree with our list? Please go ahead and let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. If you liked the video,